Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Here we are for game three. I am currently 1-1, and finally now I have the black pieces. And let's see what happens. We'll go from there. This was a little bit of a fun one for sure. He starts off e4, and I like to play the e6, b6 French. He obliges, no big deal. Just setting up, generic squares for pieces, and I put mine onto generic squares as well. And here we go. This is a very standard sort of setup with e6, b6. This knight is pinned, which means it's no longer defending that square. So there's three ways you can do something about it. You can bring the bishop here, the queen here, or the knight there, all of which will defend. If you just do this, for example, you drop the pawn, which is very, very common at the lower elos of play where I currently still reside. So I'm very used to this sort of situation happening and all that. So immediately I trade off, I win the e-pawn, and then we figure out, well, I don't know, now we play chess. We play chess where I'm a pawn up, but I'm a little bit slower and less developed, but the French structure is so concrete that it's very hard to break through. Plus, the mental damage of I literally stole a pawn from you on turn 6 as black, bro. Like, get out. You can generally hold pretty well with French for a while and, play position from there. So, I'm honestly, oh, hold on. Why do I have, oh, crap. Engine's not supposed to be on yet. Well, you know what? It's fine. I was going to say, maybe we just play a game like that since we already started. But, yeah, I never even would have considered horse to guard here, I guess, because if he takes, I take. And then I'm attacking his bishop, so it probably wants to run away somewhere, but this isn't really that bad. I'd rather just, I got this nice fianchetto over here. I'd rather just stay there. So, all right, we'll turn that off. So that's what I do. I go all the way back, and then this bishop will not move until it can either take this pawn or capture something for free, or I don't know what. So generally it just kind of hangs out for a long time now, though. But yeah, he does have 3 pieces out. I have 1 piece out. It's his turn. He's fully able to castle. I still need to move out at least 1 knight, if not both, before getting to castle myself. So I'm a little bit behind, but I've got the pawn, and I'm very comfortable in this type of position. So he brings queen out, so that makes me think he wants to go queenside, which is interesting. Not really going to get a whole lot throwing your pawns at my little fianchettoed blockade over here. But if that's what he wants to do, that's fine. So I bring out knight because I'm probably going to go kingside if he wants to go queenside. And then, being able to double his pawns or something if his queen goes away would be beneficial. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know what the hell that was. I thought that was so weird. It does absolutely nothing. It blows my mind, but he did it on purpose. Couldn't tell you why. Absolutely no idea. It doesn't even stop the knight. It only makes this really weak and super juicy. It's not like he can develop his bishop. I have no idea why he did this. I actually kind of wish I asked. The dude in the first game, he was really cool about it. Once the game was over, like sometimes you'll watch the GM games at like majors or whatever. They'll talk about a bunch of moves. You see their hands over the board. They're kind of like pointing at squares and talking about moves and this and that. So the first kid, he did that with me. He's like, oh yeah, this and that and this and that. And I was like, oh, what about this and that and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wish I asked this kid, what the hell was that move? What? No idea. That's as bad as a blunder in my book. So granted, it's not like I take a bunch of initiative with it either, but I wanted to sort of block off a couple of his squares for the knight, and also free up my knight to go here. So that way I have more support for my eventual C-push, especially if he is going to castle queenside. It just helps sort of solidify my center in that regard. If I go here, after he just opened that up for me, that just seems criminal. Oops. If I go here, okay, sure. I don't know. He's not going to go there, but I don't know, something random. But then now I have to move my horse again somewhere to make this attack to begin with. I don't know. So I didn't want to get in my own. I didn't want to trip over my own shoes again. So just a small little useful move. Gives my queen a square if I don't like e7, but not important. And then he does this. I have absolutely no idea what he's thinking. At least this one blocks off my knight from jumping in. Granted, my knight is not going to jump in. There's nothing to jump in for, but at least there's something. This is just straight weakness. No idea. Back to back, dude literally just gave me 2 tempo for free. So, and then my dumbass puts the knight up here anyway. Really? Why did I do that? I don't know. Maybe I thought, fine, he jumps somewhere, I jump somewhere, and see what happens. That's crazy. I actually can't believe I just did that. But it works out in my favor because he decides to go attack my knight randomly. Okay. Oh, I hear Omelet crying. Sorry, Omelet. Food time later. Which, sure, that's fine. Whatever. I just got a nice little maneuver here. I'll attack the bishop, see if I can take your bishop pair. But also now I'm attacking this twice. So he can't defend everything. If he tries to defend the pawn, I take the bishop for free. If he runs the bishop away, then I win the pawn. So, you know, 3 terrible pawn moves in a row give me lots of advantage. In my notes, I don't remember which knight I took with first, because I just wrote knight xb4. You're supposed to write knight c xb4 or knight d xb4. I didn't. Because I remember thinking for a couple minutes, which knight is better? Do I want knights like this? Or do I want knights like this? You know, with this having a little bit more opening, I'm like, you know, if he takes and I take back, it doesn't matter. You know, if he pushes the pawn after me, I'm probably going right back to where I came. So again, then it probably also doesn't matter if he comes after with the rook. Like, you know, and then either way, whichever knight I use is attacking the bishop over here. It's like, okay, well, maybe then if I trade this bishop, then it would matter, you know, if it was this knight that went there or if it was this knight that went there. Because then it would mean which one of these squares is vacant. I don't actually remember which one I took. I don't remember which one I decided. I don't know which one is better, but it didn't end up mattering. So, because he took and I took. So, none of it matters. And then I just took both of his bishops because I figured now I've got a little bit of a lead. I mean, I had a little, I was 1 pawn up. Now I'm 2 pawns ahead. And again, I don't want to block this diagonal. So yeah, I'll simplify. And then, you know, we'll see what happens. At this point, I could move my queen. I could just castle. And probably safe castling queenside, honestly, and then throwing these pawns in his face. But I want to target this big fat weakness. So I target this big fat weakness, and he made a big fat blunder and did not see his big fat weakness. This is another reason to put bishops down here, especially in low elo. It is extremely often forgotten and extremely often missed. It used to be a massive weakness of mine when I was in high school, especially our freshman and sophomore year. Oh my god, dude. I would miss the bishop on the long diagonal all the time. You just forget about it. It's been there for forever. And there were just 2 knights in the way. So he never was thinking that this was under any threat because there was so much action here. And then eventually it just out of sight, out of mind. You forget about it. It used to happen to me all the time. That's why I love the e6, b6 French, because normally in the French it's e6, d5. But then you have a really crappy bishop that can't move. And so I just decided I'm going to play this one so I can not only use my light square bishop instead of having it be a French bishop, but then I get to go right directly into the face of his king, and it's very uncomfortable. People often forget and they often hate it, and it's just a pain in the ass to deal with. So I love it. Anyway, he forgets. He castles. And now I thought for a couple minutes of, do I take with my queen or do I take with my bishop? If I take with my queen, who knows, maybe he trades, and that's fine. I'm up 2 pawns and a horse, so he probably can't. His queen goes somewhere. I don't know, maybe his queen goes there to attack me down here. I don't know, but then maybe I just bring my queen right back. So I don't know exactly, whatever, but I decided I'll keep my pieces on the board. I'm a better player than him. Let's just leave my pieces. I'll get my bishop over here, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? I don't know. So I decided to use my bishop. in hindsight, probably should have used the queen, but I didn't. I used bishop. So he goes there, and what was my response again? I don't remember what I responded. Oh, yeah. Instead of wasting time to defend, which maybe it's not a waste of time, I decided to let him go in for it so I can just take his central pawns instead. Probably not the best, because he can just go after me, and this guy would have no defender, and then his queen is in my face. But I also know that he can't do anything with just one queen either at the same time. So I didn't feel like it was that bad. I wanted to castle. I probably should have gone here. I don't know. I probably should have. It's probably a mistake to do what I did. But it's what I did. Maybe I was overconfident and just felt spicy. So he captures, I capture. He goes in here. Don't know why. This is the start. Well, this is the start. Not that you guys are looking on the side, but queen, 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 queen. He used his queen like 7 turns in a row. Anyway, queen, queen. So it's the start of a million queen moves in a row. I don't really know what his plan was, what he was thinking. Maybe he just wanted to cover my escape squares so that he could attack me. And maybe I don't have anywhere to go, but I do have somewhere to go. So again, I'm not sure. I could even have probably just secured this pawn at this point that way, giving my bishop a good little outlet. But I don't know, man. So I'm with my rook. I'm just going to attack it. Just get it out of there. Plus, this seems fine. It seems like a decent place to have my rook. He runs away to the only square he has, and I could chase it some more. Oh my god, what if I went here? Well, no, because he's got all the way back. Okay. Yeah, I probably should have pushed this first. Oh, well, I didn't. So I chase after him here, and then at this point, something happened. I accidentally, because like in slower time formats, you write down every move on a piece of paper as the game happens, just in case something illegal happens or something weird happens, or for cases like this, you want to review the VOD. Somewhere in these next couple of moves, I forgot to write down a move, and so then when I started writing in the other moves, I wrote them in on the wrong side. So like I'm black, I'm writing in on the right side of the paper, not the left side of the paper, because it's move 1 on the left, move 2 on the right. And then I noticed a few turns from now, I was writing my moves on his side. And I'm like, wait, what? Where are his moves? So somewhere in the next few turns, I messed up and I couldn't go back to fix it. So I do have to sort of make up a few turns before I get back on track to the correct position. So I'm pretty sure this was still fine. He went there, I offer a trade. I don't know if that was accurate or not, or maybe he went here. He might have gone there. I honestly don't know. Because I know I lined up for this pawn, but I don't think I wouldn't have done that if he was here. So no, I'm pretty sure this is still correct. Yes. Oh my god, I missed it twice in a row. Okay, I'm such a dumbass. So I go here, he goes there, absolutely. I remember thinking I could bring my bishop back and attack it with tempo, but I didn't want to block my pawn in. So I was like, nah, I don't want to move that bishop. And then I thought, oh, I can activate my rook and go after this pawn. I totally did not see that he was attacking that bishop. Even though my first thought was to move the bishop, it wasn't for a defensive purpose. And I think part of that is because he just had, outside of castling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 queen moves in a row. I honestly, I feel like I stopped considering it to be a threat. And like, that's not an enemy queen. That's just some chick on a marathon running all over the place. Like, I don't know. I didn't even, obviously I just didn't see it. So shit happens. I blundered my bishop completely, but I'm at least still 2 pawns ahead. So it's not the end of, that's the best time to blunder is when you still have an advantage even after losing the piece. It's okay. So I just try to take a deep breath, be like, I'm still okay. I can still win this game. I get a pawn for it. So it's not, the end of the world. So now I have 3 pawns of an advantage. It's okay. It's obviously not ideal, but it's okay. This guy is passed, and then these 2 are semi-passed. All of them are connected. My pawn structure is great. It's okay. It felt dumb, but whatever, happens. So obviously he goes after my queen. It's fine. I tried to trade one more time, didn't get it. He goes way down deep and tries to target my weak squares. I go back to defend it. This is where I stopped correctly getting moves. I think the next move that I had was, yeah, the next move I wrote down was queen to a5, but that's not correct. So I mixed up a couple of things. So, you know, whatever. The general theme is that he brings his rooks over here and we make a massive trade of rooks down in the bottom. I'm able to secure this pawn somehow. I don't remember how. Don't remember how. I offer another queen trade. I know that happened. I know he went here. I don't think I made this offer, but I have queen to a5 written on my sheet as a white move, queen to a5, which definitely wouldn't happen. It'd be a blunder. I would take it. So I'm ad-libbing now at this point. I don't know exactly what happened, but I know I grabbed this pawn. So maybe he went there. No idea. I get competitive anxiety, so my hands are kind of shaky when writing these moves down. I'm like one of those foot tappers. Like my foot is constantly, moving around. I'm trying to stop my body from shivering. Like I'm not cold or anything. I can't physically like make an impact on the board. I just have to sit and wait, and the tension kind of gets to me sometimes. So maybe I just scribbled the wrong letter down due to my shaky hand anxiety. But either way, so sure, we're pretending that this is exactly how that happened. He moves over. I know this happened because I was planning on having this guard in case there's a big trade down here. I wanted to be able to cover for the king. So I know this all happened, just I don't know exactly how or when. So these are fake moves, fake moves, fake moves. But this is real move. There was the big collateral damage happened, and then I got down here. So all of this was real, and now we're caught back up with me having the wrong moves on there. So all of this is now correct. And then I move all the way over to guard my pawns. So once again, I am now 3 passed pawns ahead. And the queen can't checkmate by herself. Like, she can't. You need at least some sort of help. Whether my king is blocked in by my own pieces, or, with the side of the board, or he gets a pawn down here, or something like that. So it's scary, but it's going to be extremely difficult, almost impossible to lose the game at this point, as long as I make sure I don't immediately blunder my queen in any way. But again, he also has to make sure the exact same thing, that he doesn't blunder his queen. So he's never even going to try to attack my queen. So at this point, I just need to push these pawns, slowly get my king, up somewhere, in a little fortress, and maybe use more pawns, move my queen. So no chance I can lose the game at this point. He starts bringing his king over to defend against the pawns. I'm pushing pawns, he's pushing king. I'm making them all defended. And now it's just like, I don't know exactly what to do, but I decided I'm just going to put all 3 of my passed pawns right up here. Probably wasn't good, but the time was a little low. And, I didn't want to spend too much time thinking about it, because I knew I'm still going to win. Even if I blunder one of these pawns, it's fine. So I just pushed it up here. Turns out a bit of a mistake. Now he's able to capitalize on some of it, but I decided that if I bring my queen up here, queen's defended, I'm defending this guy, which makes this guy free. But if that one's free, just like in the last game, I'm totally happy to sacrifice my pawns, force the queens off the board. I'd still be 1 pawn ahead, and then I would just slowly win the game that way. But it'd be fine. It's slow. It's probably not good. But it's guaranteed. Just get the queens off the board, and then I can't lose. I'll get my king on over here. I'll push his king away. I'll promote some of these pawns somehow, and we go from there. So that's what I tried. But he actually found a really good combination to chase me around, go all the way back, chase me around again. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to block it with which one of these 2 pawns. I wasn't sure, but I chose the closer pawn because it keeps things more of like a tight-knit little fortress rather than opening this up completely. So I chose this one, but that allowed him to capture this guy where I can't force the queens off the board. So really good job on his part. He's still fighting. He made a few random moves that made no sense with zero tempo whatsoever. I don't understand. But that was really good, I thought, on his part. I definitely didn't see or anticipate that. But also, it's fine. Like I said, if I go here and I drop a pawn, whatever. I'm not going to lose the game. So I'll solidify both of my pawns now, and I will go back to operation push my pawns to win the game. And now he definitely has no more like fancy checks of where he can get at me with. He can try and target this, but well, first I'll throw in a check, see what happens, because if he moves his king here, I'll just immediately get the queens off the board, and then I don't care. But he didn't. He moved back. So yeah, I defend my square. You can't check my king anywhere. There's no fancy shenanigans you have. I'm just going to push this guy till he wins. I can push this guy for support until I win. And then these dudes just kind of hold down the fort, and we're good to go. So he has nothing to do. He pushes a pawn. I push a pawn because I realize I can force, a queen trade. And at this point, both of our clocks were super low. I think I had like 2 minutes left, and I didn't want to think too hard. And again, I know I just need to trade the queens. So here's where we got into like the rapid fire, like you see in the videos or whatever. People, they make a move, they hit the clock, make a move, hit the clock, and just bam, 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 just back and forth. Like I said, our clocks were both really low. That means everyone else was definitely done by now. So as soon as we start just like rapid firing off the next handful of moves, we're hitting our clock like mad. It just felt so fun. Like, okay, this is why people like speed chess. I fucking hate speed chess, but this is why people like it. And then everyone gathered around because it's like Morpheus is fighting Neo. All this action's going on. You hear the wham, 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 wham of the clocks. So it just felt so goddamn fun to be in there and to play, regardless of whether these moves are god awful or not. So he's got one move. I go there, force the queens off. Don't care. Take these pawns, push that, take that. I stopped writing moves down on the paper at this point because, again, the clock was so low and it didn't matter. But I know I was able to get my king up here and these pawns eventually, some way or the other. It's not exactly how this looked, but I was able to get my king in one of these squares opposite of his and eventually up to here. So that way these three were all guarded and he couldn't take this pawn or prevent it from being queened. And then I slowly did queen and king, checkmate, and won from there. So don't know exactly how it all looked, but that was how the game ended. And yeah, so we've now rallied a few games in a row. This was game 3, so we're now 2-1. We're now back in a good position. It's 50-50 whether we get white or black next game. And, if we win the next game, that'll be 3 in a row. That'll put us at 3-1. And that'll give us a really good chance to place towards the top. So we've recovered a little bit from our mistakes. We had a couple of good games. Won a game as black. Now let's see what the computer wants to say. So let's go all the way back here. I know the computer hates my defense. It hates the French, especially the E6, B6 variation. So the computer's going to say I suck at the start, but it's fine. It's whatever. Yeah, I'm already down almost a whole pawn. I move 2. Stop it. The computer hates the King's Indian too, but it doesn't matter. So standard stuff, and now all of a sudden I'm winning because he blundered a pawn. Piece of cake. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Why would you do that? Because I'm still guarded. It's not like... I mean, yeah, it's very slow, but my horse cover's here. It's not like you can pin anything. Why would you do that? And why would I not take it? Computer? I have no idea. Why would I not just take that pawn if he gave it to me for free? No idea. I'll mess around with that later in the future sometime. But he offers a bishop trade, and I've never really thought about using the knight, but I want this bishop on the fianchetto for a reason, as we find out later. He develops pieces, I develop pieces. Again, no freaking idea what this was. The computer doesn't even hate it that much, which is really weird. Even though I'm a pawn ahead, it doesn't give me a full pawn's worth because I'm a little behind in space and development. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bad move, but I don't know, whatever. So I push, it's not great. Oh, it wants me to go straight for c5, really? You don't want me to have a little support for it first? I don't know, whatever, I don't, so, oops, wrong way. Again, no idea what that was, but it's fine. So, develop my knight. Massive blunder in his part as you see the computer just go crazy. There's not really much to evaluate with this game, I feel like, though. Because I had standard opening, won a pawn, and then I'm just sort of now, both of us just kind of put our pieces in generic squares, you know? This is just where you put pieces if you don't know what to do with them. You put them on their natural square. And he messed around for 2 turns, and I don't know what the heck that is, but it wasn't good. I don't know if it was -5 good, but huh. So yeah, no, I made the right play on it. What if he, no, if he goes there, I just take the bishop with an attack on the queen. Yeah, so he runs back. Ooh, it does like this knight more. I'm gonna wait for it to finish thinking. Okay, yeah, so it says the D knight, the D knight, dragon knight, taking is -4, but the C knight is -2. I wonder why. I guess because he can, yeah, he can attack me. My bishop is a little unsafe. My knights are guarding each other. So if his dark square bishop took my, now it's my B knight, my other knight can't recapture because then I drop the bishop. Huh. I mean, I still can defend with pawns, so I don't think it's, I mean, he can push me away with pawns too, but huh. Anyway, well, that's cool. Again, I don't know which one I actually made in game. I want to say I think I actually used the C knight, but I truly don't remember. So either way, both of those are gone. Take back, and yeah. So yeah, he's getting murdered right now, just letting me take all of his pieces. He recaptures. Best move is here. He's in deep shit. Okay, computer likes queen because you get a better chance to force the queens off, and then you have a safer game where you can't accidentally blunder the loss of your bishop. I feel like I knew that, but I chose the bishop anyway, just because I want to keep my queen. I'm better with it than he is. Well, maybe not, considering what happened, but yeah, so now is the start of where he moved a million things all at once. Yeah, I could have just pushed it. I could have defended it, but I don't know. I guess I was spicy. I want a castle, so I'm nice and safe. And there's really not a ton to analyze at the moment, especially because I had to input in some fake moves in just a few seconds. Yeah, you know, nice blunder. I love how it's -10, -9.5, and now it's -8. So, no, that makes sense. Oh, -7. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, I lost 2 or 3 points, but I do immediately get the pawn back, so that's fine. No big deal. We're winning by so much. Why would I push here when I want to just take that? I don't know, whatever. I take it. Apparently it was bad, but could I even have taken? No, there's no way. Why would I do that? Why on earth? I mean, I guess, yeah, you still want the 2 rooks to the queen. That's an advantage, but I also would be happy just having the queens on the board. All right, whatever. So, yeah, like I do have to do a little bit of backtracking now, but it's fine. I'm just making sure everything is defended. Wow. Wow. This was almost an equal position at this point. Probably because with these guys being doubled and isolated, I probably dropped both of them, huh? And then I'm only up 1 pawn. I really wouldn't have felt like I dropped both, though. I feel like I'd only dropped 1. But, whatever. So, he goes somewhere. Again, this is where now I'm just making up moves. I don't know exactly what happened, but I do know that this is correct, and this is correct, and there's not really a lot to analyze. The game was pretty simple, pretty easy at the start. just natural developing moves, and then he has no chance to win the game at this point. I guess I'm just kind of looking because I'm curious. Oh, I could have even done that. He takes over here, and then I push up, and I'm now 1 square away from queening, and he can't stop it. No, he could stand there. Yeah. I mean, but then I just force him away. Eventually, yeah, it doesn't matter. Pretty genius, though. Yeah. So I made a few of the a few of the key moves as best as I needed to. I had mate in 2 right here. Wait, really? Oh my god. Oh no, I had mate in 2. See what I mean from the second video where I said I have a habit of like, I never really try to checkmate. I just try and get an advantage, and then I will slowly push that advantage until I win. Bro, I literally have mate in 2 and I didn't see it. That's funny. I'm just so determined on giving away my material. Wow, that's hilarious. So anyway, that's game 3. So we got 2 more. We're 2-1. We're in good shape. We're doing all right, and I'm feeling a little bit better now that we got some wins under our belt finally. That boosts my career record to 3-4. Yeah, at this point in history now, my career record in rated tournaments is 3-4. Not good at all. It's pretty awful, but that's why I'm playing chess again, so I can fix that. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know your thoughts. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Catch you later. Peace.